Hello there, magic monsters. How are you today? Guess what? I'm tired. I just made coffee. Is it bad to make coffee at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, evening? Ah, yes. Good luck, Mr. Wolfheat, on your portfolio page. If you are coding it yourself, suggest checking out MidJourney and saying, make me a page, and then copy a cool looking page from there. Otherwise, portfolio sites should do fine. Coffee. So there we go. That's the first thing I wanted to look at. See that girl standing there in the little outfit? So check this out. I was using the good old MidJourney. I do that on the side from time to time. I will dabble in it and find cool stuff. I enjoy doing it. It's fun. We'll talk to this guy in a bit, but I should have just moved all the way back. Well, actually, we're gonna have to start from scratch anyway. So let's start a new scene real quick, and I'll show you what I wanted to get your opinion on. Let's quickly do a debug. 2 a.m. there. Holy cow! You must be in Europe or West Africa or something. Alright, so we've got our character here who is either a person with normal maps on a little cutout thing, and if we look at the detail here, you can kind of see she is either this, and on the backside it doesn't look right, it's just that, or it's a sprite like that. Now the sprite is brighter. It's a lot easier to set up because it's just a sprite, and it looks good on both sides. It looks the same on both sides. But there's no normal map, and it doesn't react to lighting. So in a situation where there's less lighting, you're going to see a bright sprite versus not a bright sprite. So like if we take this light, where's that light? I see a light here, but where's the light? Oh, there it is. So if we take this and put it near her, whoops, you can see the reaction of the normal map that I made. Oh, Sweden. A normal map I made from the 2D image using Substance Sampler. Just a quick little job. I didn't really pay attention to the details too much. But so that looks really cool, right? So the question is, should I make these cutouts or should I just do the sprites? Because I have other sprites. I've got other NPCs here. I've got the demon. That's going to be the big bad guy. We've got the sad goblin here. We've got the old man. Not that old man. Person number 2, old man. And we have the... nope, not that one either. Imp. The imp for another bad guy. Oh, Greywall, I can tell you a recap. I'll give you the short version. This is the this is a demo scene for the V4 of the game module. So if you go over to infinitypbr.com and click the See All Assets button, you go to the asset store using my affiliate link, which I always appreciate. That's why I always tell people, if you're going to buy something from the asset store and you haven't clicked another person's affiliate link, click mine. I get 5% of whatever you buy. And that helps, goes a long way. So you get all of our content here. You can see it all right here. And there's a whole lot of it. But if we get down far enough, because unfortunately not enough people buy it, so it's kind of buried. It's very sad right now. But maybe with the V4, that'll change everything, because V4 is going to be so much cooler. Maybe that's why everyone's just waiting for V4 to come out. Wow, it's really buried. It's buried behind bonus files. Those only get bumped up when somebody downloads them, which is not super often. Anyways, game modules. Go here, and actually I think I can write links into the chat. So this is the game modules. Essentially, it's a tool. It's not a game kit. It's not a pre-made game kit. It is a tool that lets you make your game your way, but it has a bunch of modules that make a lot of the heavy lifting easier and faster. And so if we go back to this scene, it's a good example is this character creation scene. This is a demo for the game. It is not itself the thing. The thing is that you can create anything you want. You can create, these are our are stats. These are character classes, which are different classes. You can be RPG, you can do fantasy, you can do 2D side-scrolling, you can do tower defense, you can do a racing game, you can do sci-fi, you can do anything you want. It's your game. All this is allows you to set up all these little stats and stuff, and then the system automatically does all the math. So once you set it up, as I click around, you see these other stats recompiling. They're all automatically doing that. And so it's essentially just an automated system once you set it up, and you see a lot of, not the blank ones, but the ones with the colors have those are my test or debugs that come with it that you can turn off very easily. But there's a whole lot going on. The V4 adds some new stuff. The quest system and the save and load system are new for V4. So there you go. So yeah, and this is a demo scene for that.
I'm
so
ready.
it just shows how to one way of making it and doing specifically this. So there's lots you can do here, but like I said, everything is pre-computed. So as an example, this is a half-orc mage, which is a terrible combination. We'll make it an half-orc knight instead, or maybe it's her or them, a half-orc knight. And so as you can see, if we go down, the base value is really 11, but since it's a half-orc knight, we've set up the half-orc and the knight to give a bonus to the might, and we can quickly see that on the stats here. Actually, the half-orc and knight are both going to be item attributes. And so if we look at the knight, we can see that the stats module here has a proficiency, 20% boost to your might, 10% deficit to your personality, and no magic points, so there's no magic points. And so you can see that here, personality is low, might is higher. There's also a boost on the half-orc for might as well, and a deficit for personality and wisdom. So you can see that play out, and then all I'm really doing, all this button is doing, is saying add 1 point to might, and add another 1 point to might, and it does the math for me. I don't have to do the rest. So that's just automatic. Everything's automatic, and that's the point, because it makes it a lot easier to code your game once you start using it. For very, very simple projects, it's overkill. But for any project that requires a lot of stuff like this, then yeah, it's good. What can't you do with it? I don't know. You can do everything with it. So there we are. So the save and load is a new thing too. So when I save here, actually let's go over here. We'll go over this corner and we'll save here. It's very easy to set up things to be saved. And then if I go back to the scene, go to the demo world, press play. It's just going to automatically load us back where we were. So there we are. So this is a person with a question. So the question still is, do you think the cutout is cooler or the sprite is cooler? You got to tell me. The cutout just takes a little bit of time to set up. I got to make a whole Pro Builder shape out of it. But it's all of like 3 minutes. Nope. That's the cool thing. Races and classes are not predefined. The idea of races and classes aren't even predefined. Well, you could add coffee and tea as an item because there is items, and then they can have an effect on your alertness with their caffeine thing, because they can affect caffeine. Maybe caffeine affects alertness. So yeah, races and classes are not predefined. I think that's one of the big hurdles, is my communication skills about what this does, because it can do so much. Game modules can do so much. People see the demos that I work on, because my own game's an RPG, fantasy-based RPG. So they think, oh, that's what it is, because they're used to like RPG Builder or Adventure Creator, or games that like, this is this game. If you want to make this game, get this tool kit. Game modules isn't that. You can make anything with it. So I need to make more stuff like that. So that's a good question. So let's say, as an example, Mr. Wolfie, that we want to set up we can do another race if we want. All it is, we create game modules, this is going to be an item attribute. Now, it's going to be our character race because it's in this folder, so we're going to call it Goblin. We'll just call it Goblin. And so now we've got a Goblin. It's a character race Goblin. It's now a thing that can be used. In our script for the player, what do I have here? Oh, Banshee demo scene. That's exciting. More Banshee and demo scene stuff. Those are other projects. If we go to our, where do I have it up? Do I have it or did I close it? Yes, I do have it. Okay. So if we go to our player, not player object, player, it's linked up here. This is the demo script that comes with this specific one, but the players themselves are actually, where are they? Right here, demo actors. These are inheriting from game module's inventory actor, which you can inherit from as well. It's got a lot of things already set up to run the automation. And so when we look at the race and the class, what we're really looking at is, hey, we have a game item attribute for actor race, a game item attribute for actor class, for actor gender as well. And that's a game version of this. This is an item attribute. A game version is, this is a scriptable object too, so you can't serialize things. So the game version is the game version of this. Hold on, I've turned my heater off. And so essentially you just assign it. It's very easy, one line of code to assign it. In this demo, the race and class are not automatically computed. You have to put them in, but once they're in, their effects get computed. Whoops. So the idea is you've got some settings. We can use the name goblin for the human name. Then we've got the stats, and so you can see all your stats here that are modifiable. Again, stats can be anything. We've got things like, skills, chain, leather, plate, shield, jagger, mace, etc., etc. We've got our base things like might, luck. We have our level. We have hit points max and hit points. So those are being used as a tracker. The hit points is a point tracker. Experience modifier is used as a modifier. So for instance, if you have the learning skill right here, the learning skill actually affects your experience modifier. And whenever you gain experience, it's multiplied by your modifier. So when you have learning, you gain more experience. So there's just ways of connecting them that are just pretty straightforward, I think. Mostly straightforward. So let's say that, goblins are stronger. So we add that. Oh, my mouse just screwed up. Hate that. It's been doing that recently. And let's say that they've got bad personality. And so we add that. And then let's say that they have, I don't know, what do they have? They have a lot of luck. They're very lucky. So you can just say, okay, might's going to be a proficiency point 2. That's essentially saying it's going to be 20% higher. It gets combined with other proficiency mods. Their personality, we might say, well, they're definitely -3 points and -10%. And then for luck, you can say it's +5 points, just standard. And now if I were to be a goblin, then I would have those attributes modified by goblin. Yep. They're all default to 0. You can set the default to whatever you want. So in this demo scene, let's see, I'm going to delete this so I don't forget later. In the scene, where are we? Character creation. Let's see, I believe there is a script somewhere that adds starting stats. Here we go, starting stats. And it goes through, and I think it just adds it to 11 in the demo scene in the script. Let's see, find starting stats. Oh, do we not use starting stats? I thought we did. Where are we? Let's see. Start actions for each player. Start coroutine. Switch to new character. Open inventory. Save stuff. What did I put? I may have moved it. Oh yes, I did move it. Look at that. Character creation, scene setup, scene data. Or maybe I didn't move it. Did I move it? I think I moved it. I think I moved it because I didn't want it to be on the same thing as this. Oh yeah, I did move it. And here we go. Starting stats there. So, yeah, so it also has min and gold, max gold, so we can see how this happens. So on awake, we're going to check that, on validate, check that. Okay, create characters. So creating the characters. In this demo, we've got 4 characters. In your game, it might be a single character that runs around with 3D motion. This one we just got the portraits, so we're going to set up slightly different. So we're going to set up 4 characters. And excuse my slurping on the coffee. And so for this one, we're going to wait for the Blackboard, wait for the item repository. These repositories are just objects that are used to connect the game with the scriptable objects. They take a frame or two to activate, so we put this in IEnumerator, so we wait those frames. And so we do the party stats. We're going to make sure the party has an experience. That way, in this demo, because again, your game's different, so how you deal with experience, if you even have experience, is entirely up to you. In this demo, when the party will get the experience, say 1,000 experience, and then it will be divided equally, rounded up, by the number of players. So each individual one will then get 250 experience. So the party then has an experience. The party has gold. And then we set points between the min and max. And this is literally how you set. So once you've added gold, you now say, oh, set points to be min to max. You can set points to 5. You can set it to whatever. And then now that value of the stat, gold, is 5. And if we look at stats, they have a nice way of being set up as well. Let's look at gold. Gold's here. And so we see we have points, base value, base proficiency, and the final stat. If you're just tracking a counter, like level, maybe not level can be different, but for gold, for experience, you're probably just going to use points. And so we just use set points for that, or add points, and you can add negative to subtract points. So that's how you do that. And then when we create the random character, what are we doing here? We are just going through and saying our actor gender to a random race, a random class. And these are literally just the actor gender equals a new game item attribute of that item attribute. So you're passing in the scriptable object and it creates a game version of it for you. That's all that's doing. And then we do the start actions here for the new player. Somewhere we add the actual stats. Where do we do that? We do that here, per player setup. So we add starring stats for the player. And for that, we just go through each stat in the starring stats, which is right here. And for each one of those, we say player get that and set the hit points. Oh, no, sorry. Gain stat, that stat. And then we do the hit points. We basically get the hit points, and then we set the points to be the final stat of the player max hit points. So again, hit points and magic points are counters in this demo. So they are going to be just 1, 2, 3, whatever. They're never going to go above the magic points max. They're going to never go below 0. And so at the beginning of the game, they're currently 0. We have to set it. And since we just created the character, we have our hit points max at this point. And so we compute the final stat. That's what this does right here. It computes the final stat of hit points max, of magic point max, recomputing the entire tree. So all the things that affect them, the player race, the player not gender, the player class, all those things that affect the hit points and magic points are computed. And then we set the points right here of hit points to that value. That's all that does. And we can see hit points when we look at that stat. We can see here that it is set. Kind of expand this a little bit. It's a pointer, so we're going to ignore the rest for this. But we see that we have a minimum value of 0, a maximum value of our final stat of hit points max. So it's never going to go above that. That automatically taken care of. You can add 1,000 hit points, but if you can only get 10, then it's going to be 10. And then there's the modified by this proficiency. That's what we use for experience right here. Experience is modified by experience modifier. That way, whenever you add points, it's going to add modified amount. Yeah. So there's a lot here. I know it's probably a little overwhelming, but hopefully it kind of makes sense the way it all works. And then this one we're also rounding to 1 decimal place, and we're also sending it to the Blackboard. So there's a Blackboard automatic as well. So now whenever this value changes on any of the characters, it's going to automatically post to Blackboard the game ID of the character, of the object that has it, whether it's a bad guy or a good guy or a plant that has hit points or whatever. And then the subject is here for your easy reference hit points. And then anything else that cares about hit points being changed can, look it up. So, yep, that's that. That was the quote-unquote quick rundown. But yes, game modules can do a lot. And V4 is going to be a lot better than the current version. The current version is nice, but the V4 is going to be even better because a lot more of it's automated, and there's going to be more demos and quests and saving and loading. Saving and loading, that's built in too, so that's cool. So here's a quest. We've got this... yeah, and the voices...
Get me 100 gold if you want to pass. Do you accept my terms?
The voices are driven by the voices module, which I do need to update, but the voices themselves are from Replica Studios, but you can get those AI voices, and then there's just an easy way to kind of put them in and call them up. Nothing too fancy on that one, but it's easy enough. So we're gonna go along with it, and we're gonna say no. The blackboard. Let's save here. The blackboard is right here. It is, where is it? Blackboard. So this is the blackboard. It's got a bunch of notes. I'm going to remove the posted notes and posted events. I was going to have them saved, but then I realized that that's silly. You don't necessarily want to save all the notes. But these have all the notes. So these are all the stats that I've marked. You remember you saw the hit points was marked. These other ones are all marked as well. And this is the game ID. So in this case, since we don't know the players, there's 4 of them and all that. Yes, blackboards are, you should look up, if you don't know what blackboards are, just look it up. What's a blackboard? Unity, what's a blackboard? They're really cool. They're basically repositories of data. Imagine an actual board on the wall that you can put a note up. You can walk away. Somebody else can come up and be like, oh yeah, I care about this note, and read it and know the details. They don't have to know you. They don't have to talk to you. They don't have to give you a call. They don't have to run into you. They don't have to run into anyone you know. All they have to see is, oh, this note's here. I care about it. Now I'm going to do something with it. And so all of these notes are here. They're being automatically updated whenever they change. We have the active player, for instance, and it's just active players 3. Each note for this one, these are all the different objects that I can have, including game module objects like quests and conditions and whatnot. And so those are all there, and stuff like this is actually running off the blackboard. I believe this value is only updating every time the time board gets updated, and time board has a blackboard. So anything can have a blackboard. You can even put a blackboard on your players and make it their personal memory bank. So you can have everything that they remember, all the notes that they remember, that only they have access to. Nobody else has access to that, perhaps, in your game. So the time board is essentially a object that has a blackboard, but it also has the game module, game time module on it, which is a timekeeping module, essentially. And you can see it activating here, and each minute is going up, and every time that minute changes, this receives the event and updates its thing. This also handles pausing, so we can pause. Somewhere there's a pause level. Oh, right here, there's a pause level, so you can see it's paused. And when pause level is 2, we can't do things like move the camera or other things. There's all sorts of things there. There is, let's see, let's give ourselves some gold. So these buttons give you gold. I'm going to give myself over 100 gold because that's what we need to get past this quest.
That worked.
Oh, and I didn't turn off her thing yet because I just added that. So she's supposed to disappear. But other things we got here is conditions. So you see up here, this conditions. We'll select player 1, drink that. Now we've got poison condition for 3 minutes, and every minute we lose health. All of this is automatic. A condition can be, again, anything that does a thing to stats over time, instantly, forever, or whatnot. And so we've got that here. We've got haste here. So now our stats went up. I don't know if you noticed, but the stats went up. In 3 minutes, it's going to go down. It's also going to automatically give us another condition. I think it's going to be exhausted or something like that. And here we go, exhausted, there we go, and our stats came down, and our stats will come out when this expires. The stats will know that they need to recompute, and so they will automatically do that. Here they come. Boom, so there they are. They recomputed. So all of that was automatic. All we had to do was say gain stat, player gain stat, in this case active player gain stat. This is an instant one. This is a healing, so you can see the health bar went up because it's an instant heal. It's a condition, but it happens only once, and it happens instantly, and then it disappears. So you don't actually see it up here in the condition list. So there you go. So let's talk to this guy here. We're going to find our puppy. We're going to go through the rest of... I'm going to update the characters in a bit. We're going to rescue this dog. The dog could die, but we're going to rescue it because we want to make this goblin happy. Yep. All right. So that's another condition. And now the reward from this condition is items, which is from the loot box module. Loot box is a thing that gives you stuff. It can be used in different ways too, but essentially this is a quest item, so we're going to give that to her. We're going to actually give all these to her. And she's got that, and that's an introduction to the inventory. And this module is one that is you don't have to use it unless you want drag and drop inventory, where you can just drag things around, hand them to people, take them off and throw them into the world, stuff like that. If you want that, then great, use this. But if you don't want that, then don't use this, because you're going to have your own inventory system. And like I said, it's your game. I'm not going to tell you how to make your game. This is a quest item, so I can't actually drop it. There's toggles that if you mark a thing as quote-unquote quest item, then it means, oh, you can't drop a quest item. But you can pass it to people, so we can equip it. Oh, look at that. I've got a bug. Can I equip this? Yeah. So apparently I've got a bug with the quest item being equipped. So I'll have to fix that. Then we've got this nice little thing here. Ooh, let's get hit by it. The cool camera shake. It's part of the demo. It's not really part of the modules. It's just a little script that does shaking. It shakes the camera, also shakes these nice little portraits down here. So you can see that. And they're getting hit. Their damage is being taken. Again, all of this is pretty much automatic. You only have to do a little bit of scripting to get it working. Here's a box itself. This is all generated with the loot box, so you can see the different objects. One of the updates to this version is that these can now be different sizes. So you notice that the helmet is actually bigger when I pick it up. They used to all have to be the same size as this helmet, but now you can modify it so you can get bigger boxes with more space in it compared to... Look, there's a shield over there. How'd that get there? Compared to this other loot box I'll go find over here. I know it's here because I put it there. So this loot box has bigger things. There's nothing in it right now, but let's put something in it. So this can go here. Helmet can go here. So now the helmet's bigger, a little bit bigger in here because it's a smaller loot box. And you can see it's doing the math on the placement. You can pick things up if you have to replace them and all that fun stuff. So then if we got these two here, you can not put it down because there's two things. You can only pick up one thing. So there you go. So let's do this last quest. Well, let's get this last quest, and then we'll show the dungeon, and then we'll work on the next part of this game. This little game demo. I got hit again. So here's our last quest.
Well done. You've made it this far.
Yes, we have.
You now have one final quest to perform. You must go into the dungeon, defeat the demo demon, and return to me. The only choice you have is your reward. And the only reason you have a choice is so the developer can demonstrate adding custom rewards to quests. You can get gold or experience. Which reward would you prefer?
And he's not wrong. The only reason you have a choice here is because I wanted to show you that you can add custom rewards to quests. Quests have built-in rewards, not built-in. There's a quest reward object. You can create as many quest rewards as you want. You can add those quest rewards to quests. Some of them can be given when you complete a step of the quest. Quest can have as many steps as you want. Others can be given when you complete the quest. Sometimes you can get a reward when you fail a quest. Rewards don't have to be good. In the first quest where the girl took our 100 gold, the reward was negative 100 gold. The whole quest was have 100 gold. If you have 100 gold, you succeeded. But your reward is negative 100 gold because in the story, you're paying her 100 gold. So that's a hefty reward. So we're going to choose experience.
It is done. I shall await your return.
So now if we look at our quest here, we can go on our game data. We can see our quests. I was debugging this the other day. So you can see this is the quest right here, defeat the demo demon. It's in our quest list, so we have it. It's currently in progress. We can see the other ones are succeeded. And And then our now custom success reward is going to be 800 experience. And this is the UID of it. Since it's a scriptable object, we use the UID and the repositories in the scene to automatically recompute or reconnect the data after we load the scene. So there we go. Now we've got a custom reward. When we do complete this quest, we're going to get 800 experience. And then each one of these players will get 200 because it's going to be divided up evenly among them. All right, so let's check out this dungeon. And I built this very quickly. And this is also demonstrating, by the way, the fader in this and the way I automatically save and load the scene. That's part of the demo scene. You can steal it if you want. But the save and load systems at play here, where, you know, it did save the game and now we load this, and there's some other logic going on here. But here's our demo dungeon. It's very dark. It's very scary. I don't yet have colliders on these walls, so the things are just passing through. Oh, and I went the wrong way. And that's weird. Why is there a helmet here? There shouldn't be a helmet here. What? This is there we go. Why is there a helmet here? It's very odd that there's a helmet here. There's actually 2 helmets, and I'm not sure why. Oh, are they? No, they're not. Don't destroy, unload. I'm not sure why they're here. That's very strange. They shouldn't be there. There's also a small shield. Maybe these were just in the scene already and I forgot to remove them. That's possible. I did just copy the scene from the other thing. Oh, my realtor's calling. I'll have to call her back. Anyways, let's move on. So we're in this demo dungeon and it's scary. Oh yeah, and we're going which way? This way. And it's scary and there's a plethora of you know, magic things, and they've got cool lighting. Although, man, this lighting, I hate lighting in Unity. It's so annoying. I was trying to bake the lighting and all that, but it just didn't work. So now I think this light look really weird up here, but I don't know. I guess it looks fine. So we're going to add bad guys to all this, and then as we get to the very end, we're going to add the demo demon, and when we defeat the demo demon, I'm also going to need to add attack buttons. It's probably just going to be, I don't know, space bar to attack. But once we defeat the demo demon, then we will have defeated the game. We'll go through the portal. The guy will give us our reward, and then we'll be all set. Again, there's no colliders on the walls. That's why that's happening here. And the demo demon's going to be up here. And this is going to be locked. Oh, there's going to be a chest here, and it's going to be locked until we defeat the demo demon. And then this is going to be a portal that's going to open up with some particle effect or something. And then we will magically get warped back to the old man. Or outside the dungeon. Yeah. So that was that. Let's see. Helmet. Nope. Let's look at the dungeon. Huh. Very odd. I have no idea why there would be helmets showing up there. It makes little sense to me. Let's see. Helmet. So we've got just those, which is fine. We can keep those there, and then we turn it on, and yeah, sure enough, helmets are there. They must be being loaded. Here's what's happening. This is what's happening. Scene manager. This is the thing that will save. I think this is the thing that saves the objects. Yeah, scene, save, and load. Objects list. Let's see. Press play. Is that going to be populated with some helmets? Yep. Alright, so my thinking is this save ID is the same as the other one because I copied the scene, and this is a caveat. Hey, yo, Oliver, how are you doing? This is something to remember. Since I copied the scene, the savable ID is probably the same. Let's check it out. Demo world. We go to scene manager. It is. And so in this world, I had dropped some helmets, And the save and load system uses this to know what object should I load this data from. So if you have a different scene, your scene manager needs to have a different thing. Now, luckily, the script is nice, and if you just delete it and let go, it's going to create a brand new one. So it's, it's going to be a random string. You definitely don't want to delete this, and maybe I should add a lock button, because you don't want to accidentally delete that if you're in production, because the saved files are going to be looking for this string in order to know what to load. All the objects on this, if they are savable, they all have their own savable object ID, and it's essentially a parent-child relationship. So the save file will have data for this savable ID and then this savable ID. So this can be the same. It just has to be unique on this object. And similarly, this one has scene settings. So if you change this, then the game won't find it, and it'll be load up the default stuff, which is going to be for this position 0 and no objects and stuff. So that's what's going on here. So now if we press play, there will be no helmets because there's no data to load. There we go. All right. That was a good explanation. Solved that problem. Do you know I've been sleeping terribly? I tried to take a nap today, and I did for half an hour, but holy shit. I'm pretty sure I could feel all the electrical impulses in my brain. And it was not a good sleep for a half an hour. And the dream's so vivid and so quick. And I'm like, nope, not that dream. Wake up from that dream. Oh, my lord. I think I'm stressed out. Anyone going to GDC, by the way? I'll be at GDC. I'll be there for work, and so I'm going to be very busy. But if you're going to be at GDC, let me know. Last year, I hung out with a couple folks and met a couple folks, and it was fun. Met Nicholas, hung out with Johnny and Jason, and all that stuff. It was fun, a good time. Fun time had by all. All right, so what was I going to do? We were going to add the bad guys, right? All right, so let's add bad guys. I think for this, we turned off our NPCs here. I think for this, we're going to do a different kind of character. Our NPC characters inherit from NPC dialogue, and NPC dialogue, it's a demo script. That's why it's in the NPC's demo. You can steal from it. Feel free once you get this. But that's for people we want to talk to. The bad guys we're not going to talk to. So I think we might already have a script for this. Let me see. Scripts. What script do we have? Player scripts. So we have game modules inventory actor. So the bad guys are going to be an actor. Are they going to be an inventory actor? How are we going to do this? Because I do want a reward to happen when you quote unquote pick them up, right? If you defeat them and you collect their bodies, you get a reward, some gold, and maybe an item. So I think that they should have an inventory, and when they die, that inventory gets populated by a loot box, and a loot box is random generation of items. So a loot box, we can see that in our loot boxes right here. So loot boxes have two things. There's two things here. Loot items. Oh, I haven't moved my other demo loot boxes over. Loot box. Type loot box. There we go. Where are they? All right. So our loot boxes, or loot items rather, are basically a list of things that can be in a box. What? Why can't you? That's effed up. Stupid asset store. Is it where can't you load them? Can you go to Infinity PBR and click this button, or is it just on the asset store? They might be broken. Are there buttons down here that are broken? No. Yeah, I did participate in that. Yeah, I'm not sure. Hopefully they'll start working. They should be working. So the loot items is essentially a list of items that you can add items to it. It's just a list of items that might show up in a loot box, and so you can set this up however you want. In the demo project, I'm going to move these all down here at some point, but in the demo, the Master Sword only has Master Sword. And then the loot box only has Master Sword, because for the Master Sword, you definitely want to get the Master Sword. And when I test generate loot, you can see that the Master Sword always comes up. But our other loot boxes, Goblin Boss, for instance, is not set up. Okay, level 1 chest. Okay, yeah, these ones are set up. This one's set up. Level 1 chest is set up. So a loot box can do multiple things. If we, you can see this loot box will have 1, 2, 3 different items in it, and these are loot items that you can add. You can reorder them. They happen top down. And then you can see this one has 1 forced item and then 1 potential item. Why potential? Because it might not be spawned. So this first item, the helmet, is going to be spawned. We're forcing it. So we got that. It's 100%. And it's calculating the odds for you too, right here, which is a nice little feature. And then the second one is 100% chance, because this on the left is 100%. But if you see the value going down as we bring this down, so it's just a curve to give you the chances. And this can be a random of the 7 items. So you get a list of all the things here, and you can select just any of them, random of 6 items. So you can say, okay, well, the first one's going to be a helmet. The second one, I don't want it to be a helmet. It can be any of the other ones. So you always get a helmet, and you'll get a random something from both of those. Again, you can have prefixes or suffixes. You can do select all, and now it's going to be a random of 4. And now it's going to be a plate armor. It's going to be maybe a icy plate armor, stuff like that. You also have this option stop after the first failure, because if you have something that has more items, then there's going to be more things. So let's just add another item. So we got all these. So now you can see the chances of getting each item are down here. And if we stop after this first failure, the chances actually go down, because now there's a greater chance that, if we don't hit that, there's a 3% chance that we don't. So now instead of an 88% chance, there's only an 85% chance. And so you can kind of see the math there and get an idea. Get some error while trying the links from your webpage. Well, that stinks. The links below the stream. Okay, I'll have to check it out. They should be working. I don't know why they wouldn't be. If you can do me a favor, try that main see all assets button on the webpage and make sure that works. That's the one that's been working for me right now. So that would be helpful. So now so now we got the basic armor. It's also going to try basic weapons. It's going to restart though. So now there's a 100% chance of this. And the idea is, and then we got some more options down there for the attribute chances, because maybe you don't want them to always have the attributes. It's just a random chance there. The idea is that when this is created, it's going to have a random set of loot. So we can create that, and you can see it's going to change each time we generate loot. And this one now has way too many things, so we're going to just bring this back to where it was. So now we're generating loot, and we got different loot box, and we can see the prefix now showing up there. And then, again, it's your game. What you do with this is entirely up to you. If you're using the inventory module, there's scripts that you can use to make that automated. So when you load up a box with loot in it, this stuff just shows up. But this system, this module, will return a list of these, and then you can handle that how you want. Similar to when I defeated the quest and you saw those items pop up on the screen, that was handling the list one at a time, basically saying pick up the item and wait for an item to not be picked up. Once an item's no longer picked up, pick up the next item in coroutine. So that's the loot box thing. So that's the super short version of saying that I think the bad guys are going to be they're going to have an inventory. I think it might be on your side. What's the error? Is it because it's just going to this URL? I'll copy the link. See if you can go directly to that there. There is a partnerized, that's the affiliate program for the asset store link on it, but otherwise it should just go straight, and then it does this other stuff and adds this UTM tracking and and other stuff like that. But this package, by the way, this is one of my favorite packages. Skyrim style lockpicking. Have you seen this one? It's got some cool art, very modular, lots of options, different textures, different things you can mix and match, all the different styles. The demo scene is usable in a game. And you even see that you can even change the different things to make your own versions, combine, mix and match, and all this stuff. It's got buttons. So you've got a nice little button that you can depress. It's got this cipher lock here. So you can have a fully functional cipher, and you can actually, if you have Substance Painter, you can customize the runes on here so they could be letters, numbers, whatever you want. Different number, you can choose how many numbers there are on each wheel. Yeah, it must be on your side, unfortunately. I'm not sure what would be going on there. But yeah, so this is a cool package, by the way. Sometimes I like to look at my own stuff and remember what I've made because I forget sometimes what I've made in the past. But that one's one of my favorites, the lockpicking one. So I have a lot of favorites. All right, so the point is that the bad guys are going to be just like the good guys. They're going to be actors with inventories. So we need a bad guy script. So let's create a bad guy script. Let's collapse stuff real quick. All right. Party-based. Oh, demo scenes. Party-based RPG. Scripts. And actors. Do I have a script for this? Demo enemy. Look at me. I'm so good. I've already done this for me. But this isn't right. Is it? Demo actor. Oh, I guess it is. Yeah, because a demo enemy is going to have a demo actor on it. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Oh, you know why? You know why I already did this? Because I'm pretty sure these are enemies. Yep, a magic pedestal is a demo enemy. That's why I guess I was having... I just had already done this and deja vu wasn't hitting me. That's interesting. I do the phone check whenever things aren't loading for me too, by the way. Just the other day, the Asset Store wasn't loading. I was like, it was last night. The Asset Store wasn't loading. I was like, huh? And so I checked on my phone, turned off Wi-Fi, turned off my phone. I was like, works fine. So it was just my my computer in that case as well. All right. So the magic pedestal is an enemy. I already did that. It can't die. You can't hit it. So we're going to create an enemy that can die. So a couple things here. We're going to create a new... let's just create the prefab first. Where's our player? We'll do this in this order. Where's the player? Player. Turn off the lights or turn on the lights. One of the two, however you want to slice it. All right, so we're going to create a new character here. And for this, I'm going to just use the sprite for now. I think I'm going to do the 3D version or 3D-ish version. Let me see real quick. My realtor sent me a message. She left me a really long voicemail. LOL. Oh. Okay. I will check that message later. I'm buying a house, by the way. It's very exciting, but very, 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 very stressful. And that's why I've been having bad dreams, I think, because I'm stressed out. But it's all good in the end. I'm sure it's a great investment, and it's kind of what I've been saving up for the past decade or so. So kind of makes sense. I'd be nervous about it. It's also all my money. So yeah. But that's okay. It's good. It'll be good to have a house for myself to live in. I've not had one of those before. That was owned by me, at least. I've had houses from other people that I could live in. But, you know. Where are we? Oh, yes. So I'm going to create a new object right here. We're going to create game object. We're going to create a... we want it to move, so we'll make it a capsule, but it's going to be... we're gonna modify this a little bit. So actually, yeah, let's put the capsule here. Copy this, transform, copy component, create an empty one. That's what we're gonna create. Create an empty one, and we're gonna call this imp. So it's not the goblin. The goblin's a good guy. Well, it's kind of a good guy. Paste the values so we get in the same position. Then we will put the capsule underneath that. Oh, we should probably do, the imp's going to be at 0 and the capsule is going to be higher. So now let's bring it back up. All right. So this is going to be our capsule collider and other things. We'll make it a little bit taller, 1.8. Is that too tall? Oh, that's much too tall. Oh, the scale in this game is wrong. It should be, that's less than 2 meters. Oh well, we'll make it work. It's just a demo, right? We're all friends for demos. 1.2. Is that too high? That's about right. So we'll make it 1.2 meters. And see, that's why it's wrong. We are going to turn off the mesh thing here, but we have the collider. And so we're going to use that collider. And then I'm going to bring in my imp. I'll make it a 3D thing later, I suppose. But for now, we'll just use the sprite. So NPCs. Where is our imp? Imp. Okay. I'll use this one for now. We will make a sprite. Apply. And then bring the sprite under here. Did that not work? I thought if I just bring it over, it will work. It did earlier. There we are. Did it work? Everything's blue now, so I thought it would work. Oh, it made it as a thing of that. Interesting. Imp. There we go. There we go. All right, so let's fix this. It's much too huge, so 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. Now it's much better, nice and small. And why isn't it see-through? Oh, I know why it's not see-through, because I saved it from a different thing. All right, let's quickly bring in downloads, imp1. This is the see-through version. All right, sprite, apply, do the same process, not that. Imp1, there we go. Delete this one. Bring that there. Zero it out. Make it smaller. Whoops. 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. All right. So now it's too small. So we want a big, maybe 0.2, 0.2, whoops. 0.2, 0.2, 0.2. Make it that size, maybe. Let's see. That's probably okay. 0.25, 0.25, 0.25. Make it a little bit bigger. All right, so that's our bad guy now. He's staring at us very, very menacingly. AI generated, by the way. Isn't that fun? Sorry, I didn't quite hit the mute button. Apologize. Also, I need to pour more coffee. Okay, I put some in the thermos because I made more coffee and I didn't want to have to pause the stream to go get more, so I put it in a little thermos thing, and then the thermos thing got really tight from the physics involved. All right, so we got our bad guy. Then what? Ooh, that's hot. Then we need to make him a bad guy. Magic pedestals. We put the magic pedestal script right there. We also have a savable, and we have an audio source. I don't know. Do we need an audio source for this? Probably at some point. So let's do that. Let's do an audio source. We are going to do... You know this capsule collider? Let's just put this right here. And we will put it up a little bit. Right there. And then we can delete this. We don't need that after all. And then we will add the savable, because this can be saved. Now, there are many ways with the save and load system to do this. Similar to the objects that are dropped in the scene, you could save bad guys that way, especially if you're spawning them randomly. One of the things I like to do in my games is have little objects that spawn bad guys, and then there's some randomization involved. So Maybe, you know, there's 3 different kinds of imps, and it's not quite the same number of each kind every time you play the game. Not enough to change the game, really, right? But just enough to create some variety and some, you know, pizzazz. Also, different spawning points. Maybe each character might spawn in like 3 different spots, and so you don't quite know where they're going to be the next time you play the game. Maybe when, you know, in mine's an RPG fantasy, so maybe you defeat them all, 6 months later they all respawn, the goblins come back to the town or whatever it is. And maybe this time they're stronger, so it keeps track of if you killed them, and it keeps track of when they should respawn and all that stuff. And if you do that, then that would be the object that has savable on it. And then when the game loads, it would then handle its own data. It would, you know, do whatever it needs to do based on the load scenario. For this one, we're just going to have a few of these in the scene, and when we save, they're going to... I'm actually going to demonstrate a way of resetting them. So it's going to be, if you are saving while in the dungeon, they're going to save their position. But if you leave the dungeon, the game will save right before you leave the dungeon. Or let me flip that around. When you come into the dungeon again, they're going to reset to their default position. Oh, yeah. Look at that. I think that's not going to be an issue for the other version, because the other version has no transparency. And I'm going to use these to make it 3D, a cutout. I'm going to make a Pro Builder poly shape. And then throw him on that. That way he won't be light. He'll be darker in the darker scene and stuff. But yeah, good catch though. I didn't notice that. And also, hello, H. Is this H like in Ready Player One? Late night coffee. Hopefully this will help me sleep. That's my goal. My goal is to not fall asleep until 10 o'clock, and then to sleep and not wake up at 5 a.m. That's my goal. All right. So there's a bad guy, and where is he? Let's close this. Close that tab. We don't need that tab right now. So here's our bad guy. What does our bad guy do? We have our imp. Savable. And then we need our script here. So new script. Or do we want to just copy this script? Yeah, let's copy this. I think we can steal a lot from this. We're going to call this imp. And load it up, the imp, fix our bugs because we didn't change this. Imp. So imp's a demo enemy. We're not doing casting, so we don't have to worry about that. Minimum period. Yeah, so minute attack period, we'll call it. And then max attack period. Oh yeah, I should probably just do it like this. Min attack period and max attack period. We actually don't need these formerly serialized as's. That's going to be the time between attacks. So between 2 and 5 seconds between attacks. For this one, we'll just make it between 2 and 3. We'll call this attack clip. So I guess we will have an attack, so we know that they're attacking us. And I'm probably going to make them say out loud, attack, attack, attack. Pause level will be 1. So in other words, if this is if the pause level is at 1 or above, then they'll stop their actions. They'll stop moving and all that stuff. We have a counter, private. Particles, we don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. We have our audio source. And our audio source. This is a fun trick, by the way. I used to always put these in awake and all that. You don't need to do that. Turns out you don't need the audio source till you need it. So in this case, what I've done here is have a property for audio source. So whenever I actually use the property, and the property is going to return the private audio source if it's not already there. And if it's null, basically, then it's going to get the component audio source and assign it and return it. So that's what these 2 lines here do. Fun trick. I like that. I've learned it recently, and I like it a lot. All right, so we're starting a coroutine shoot here, and we're going to change this to attack. Now my friends are messaging me. And spam about President Biden's State of the Union. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's spam. Everyone gets spam. We can't even use our phones now because of all the spam and this fake calls, right? 2023, you'd think that we'd solve this problem. All right, so save and load is loaded. It's going to wait for everything to be loaded. If it's not loaded, we don't do anything because errors could happen if you do. We're also waiting for the time board to be loaded. And while counter is above 0, we will reduce our counter and yield. Otherwise, we're going to do stuff. So this is where we're going to do the actual attack. We don't need to do this. We don't need to do this. We can do the play attack clip. Play attack clip. So we will do that. We will reset the counter, and then we'll start the coroutine again for attack, which is going to just loop this over and 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 over. And that's that. Play attack clip is going to be that. We're all good there. We don't need to change that. We don't need clear null from this. We don't need this. Reset counter is just going to set the counter to a random range between minimum and maximum attack period. That's good there. We don't need to affect that. Save state. We don't need. So this is the actual what happens when we save the state. And so we do need to change this. We're going to change this to be imp save data. I'm not going to change on everything because I don't want to change the magic pedestals save data. So I'm just going to change it here, and we're going to copy paste in different places. So on the save state, we don't need to do any of those. Whoops. Because we're not going to have particles for this. We don't need to save the particle stuff. And so we're going to create a new imp save data. We'll fix this in a bit. And from the loading state, we're going to get our data from a JSON encoded state, and we're going to decode that to imp save data, a new object with imp save data. We don't need to set particles, so we can remove that from there as well. And so what do we need from the imp here? We need, let's see. Yep, we need to save our actor. That's all the data about the actor themselves. Their position, their rotation. We don't need to save these. We do want to save counter. So let's just delete these from here. Delete these from here. Everything else should just work now. We don't need that. And the other thing we need to do is I'm going to put this in a debug log here because I'm going to have to add that layer, debug.log. To do handle position when the player is re-entering the dungeon. So the idea is if you save the game in the dungeon and you reload, you want the bad guys in their same position because otherwise you could cheat. But if you leave the dungeon and come back, the bad guys have moved. They've moved back to wherever they came from or they started from or something like that. Hold on. Work message. People work on the weekends and at nights. All right. So that we're going to have to do that later. I'm not going to do it now. Let's get it all working first, and then we'll handle that later. So this should be the basic script for the imp. Since the imp is coming in from a demo enemy, it already has all this stuff here. It already has a save state and stuff, which is just the basics, and that's why when we go back to the imp, you can see that these are actually overrides because we're overriding, but we still need to do the basic stuff. So we're kind of copying there, just copying those. Close tabs to the left to clean that up. All right, so you can see that it's also got stuff we're not using, so we just left those blank. We see that we're getting the savable object ID for the savable object ID. What is the savable object ID? Something, where is it? Yeah, I don't even know. It's set somehow. And then this is inheriting from mono behavior and iSaveable, or it implements iSaveable. But the demo actor itself has a whole lot of stuff on it, and that's something that you can steal from as well if you'd like. So that's right here, demo actor, oops. And then that's an inventory actor. It's got all this fun stuff here. Yeah. So what we do need here, though, actually, now that I look at this, we do need some stuff. We need the class and we need the race and stuff like that. We don't have to use those things if we don't want to, but we're going to. So, to Mr. Wolfheat's questions earlier in the stream, yeah, we're going to set that stuff up now because the character is going to be created, and yeah, we need to set that stuff up. Demo actor has this stuff here, and so we must have a setup thing somewhere. The set right here, and these are done during character creation scene. So what we're going to do is create a new boolean here. Actually, this is what we'll do. We don't need a boolean. We don't need a tracker. We can say, hey, if the actor doesn't have a class yet or a race yet, then that means it's not been set up yet. So we need to set it up because that's going to be saved. So after we load the data, we can do a method. Suddenly I'm hot. I think it's the coffee. I need to take off my jacket. It's not that kind of stream, y'all. Just taking off the jacket and the pants. Just kidding. All right, so on this one, we're going to create a, let's see. Is it going to be on demo actor? No, it's going to be on imp. Or demo enemy, I mean. Is it going to be on demo enemy? We don't do it for the it could be on demo enemy. We're not going to do it for the magic pedestal, but we're going to do it for this one. So we are going to create a new method right here. We're going to protected virtual enumerator and call this sub character. And while, let's see, we're going to call this after here. So we're going to start this here. Start coroutine, setup character. So it's going to happen after the load. And we're going to say if actor class does not equal null, then yield break. So in other words, if the actor class is assigned, then we're going to do nothing. Since this happens after the load, if we've already done this, then the actor class will be assigned. Actor class uses a similar technique to what we did before, where it just returns the actor class. But here we have a set actor method to specifically set it to something. So it's actually not quite like what we showed before. I lied about that, apparently. But then if we have not, then we're going to continue and we're going to do the actual setup here. And so this is where we're going to do setup. And do setup is going to be protected virtual void do setup. And really we'll change this. Do character or actor setup. We should change this to actor too. Setup actor. All right. And we're going to override this. So something you'd override on each type of bad guy. Because they're going to have different setups, perhaps. And so for the imp, we're gonna do that here. We'll do it up here. Private override void setup actor, or do actor. What was it? I can't remember. It's been 2 seconds, so I can't remember. Do actor setup. Do actor setup, and this has to be protected too. Nope, protected. All right. And so what are we going to do here? Well, we need some settings for this. So header actor settings. We're going to do public item attribute is going to be character race. So character race, and public item attribute character class. That way an imp could be a mage, an imp could be a fighter, and you know, your logic, if you were making this game, maybe you have different things that they would do. So maybe like an imp, and then you could have an imp fighter class or an imp mage class and stuff like that. And they would override their various attacks and whatnot. But in this case, we're just going to have the two there, and public. What do we do on the character setup? Go to File, Character, Creation, and Setup. We had our starting stats, right? Starting stats. It's just a list of stats. All right, so we'll do the same thing here for our imp. Starting stats for the imp. And that should be good. We'll copy this as well. It's going to be, yeah, we'll just copy this whole damn thing. So we'll do this. We don't need that. We will just say actor.gainstat. Actor.stats, get that. We'll do the hit points. So we'll make sure we have hit points assigned. There is a built-in method when you get to automatically add it if it isn't there. So if you've forgotten to add a stat and you try to get it, it will add it for you magically, because why not? So that's fun, but we will do it anyways, just to make sure it's there. By the way, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell your friends and family about this stream. Someone mentioned on the Game Dev show last week that I have a very soothing voice apparently on my streams. And I thought to myself, well, that's just great. I appreciate that. I'm glad I have a soothing voice versus a harsh Fran Drescher voice. And Jason Wyman was saying that I put babies to sleep with my stream, which is good for babies because sometimes I swear. And babies, though they don't know what the word means yet, they're babies. So, you know, society says you don't swear around babies because they're babies, just little babies, and they don't swear yet. Although in their head, they might be thinking it. You don't know what they're thinking. They might be thinking, give me that goddamn milk. Give me that goddamn milk. Change my effing diaper, biatch. That could be what they're basically thinking without words, just the emotions. Probably not, though. They're innocent little creatures. Barely even human. All right. So on our do actor setup, well, we're going to add starring stats. So at some point we'll do that. And so we also need now our private bits for keeping track of these things. So we're going to do that method up here. We're going to say private. Let's see. How are we going to do this? We need to save this stuff as well. Let's see. We're going to have to save this. So we're going to be adding this to our save and load stuff down here. So it's going to be serialize field, but also hide an inspector because we don't want it to show up in the inspector. But we're going to say private game item attribute character race, and we'll do a similar one for character class, and then we're going to do yep, we'll do the trick we did earlier with the properties. I like to put little headers here. Privates and properties, we're going to do a public game item attribute character race. The reason why I do character race and character class is because if you just do class, you can't do that because class is like a special keyword. So I have to character race and character class to keep them specific and consistent. So this is going to be return the character race, but if it's null, then assign it to new game item attribute of character race. And we're going to do the same thing for character class. And character class. Character class. All right, so now, so now we can easily capture those. We do need to add these so we don't forget down here. So we're going to say add it to our struct first. So we're going to say public game item attribute character race or class, and then public game item attribute character race, and then we will do in our save state down here character class equals character class, and we'll do the property just in case we haven't yet assigned it. We'll assign it then save it, and then character race equals character race, and then when we load it we're going to do the opposite. Character class equals data.character class, and character race equals data.character race. All right, so now those will be saved and loaded just fine. Honestly, we probably don't actually need to save those now that I think about it, because they're going to be the same no matter how you slice it, because we're assigning it here. And since we want to keep things as simple as possible, we're going to undo all that because we don't actually need to save that data. The data is already here. It's just saved on the object. And it's not going to change in the game. For these characters, it's never going to change, so we're going to not worry about that. So we don't need to save those. All right, so we're adding the starring stats, and I mean, if we want to force these to populate, then all we have to do is say character race and character class. Or something like that. You just have to call that, but I don't think we even need to do that at this point. Or I guess we kind of do, huh? Do we? I'm thinking. I'm thinking because demo actor, I did this wrong. Demo actor has these. We need to add these here, not there. I need to change the actor race, actor class. So I did that slightly wrong because this is the actual thing that's storing that data. So what we're gonna do is fix it real quick. Not too much of an issue. Imp is, so let's first change these. Actually, let's not change this because what we're changing this is actor race and actor class, and in our setup, I don't know why I didn't think about this earlier, but I just didn't. In our setup, we're going to say actor dot set actor class to be actor class, and actor dot set actor. Sometimes I overthink things. Like I already set up this method on the demo character so that you and I and everyone else could do exactly this, and then I overthought it. We don't need this, and we don't need this because this is stored there. Yeah, so we're saying the actor, saying the race, and then adding the starring stats. And again, for the let's just double check to make sure I didn't mess up on the loading. Imp load. Oh, that's a good call out. Load state, start coroutine. Set up actor. We need to copy that here. Nope, not here, on the imp. Put this in the right spot. Keep myself organized. All right. So in our load here, we need to do the setup actor as well. And setup actor is going to just do this, and that one is do actor setup here. All right. But if the actor class is all right, okay, so we did that right, and I just didn't do it right here. All right, so that should be good now. Let's find out if it is. We have to create our imp now. So we're going to go to our item attributes and our character race. So we did this earlier, but we're going to do it again. Create game item attribute. We're going to call this imp. And the imp is going to be an imp. And the stats, I don't know. What imps are going to be resistance to fire. Or this is actually, we don't have resistance to fire. That's magic skill, so it doesn't matter. So we're going to say that imps have magic hit points max of, I don't know, 10. They've got hit point max of 10. That's that. That's all. They've got 10 hit points. They're pretty simple. Character class, we'll just create a new one here. Create an attribute. We'll call this fighter. So an imp fighter is going to be, and we'll make this name order 2. So if we do have these back to back, the full name of the character would be imp fighter, but I don't think it will happen here in this context. So the fighter is going to have a bonus to their might and a bonus to their hit points max. All right, so the bonus to might is just going to be 2, and hit points max is going to get an extra 4 hit points max. Maybe if it was a mage or something, then it would have a different settings like here. But we're going to keep it simple. Why did my friend send 26 different text messages? Remember back in the day when every text message cost 10 cents for the sender and receiver? This is a group text, so that would have been 26 times 3, so 78 times 10, $7.80 for the telecom companies. I'm reading text messages from my friends. I'll have to read all that later, I guess. All right. So we can go back to the imp here, and we can then... Oh, we have to add it. Imp. Look, I have a note to redo something. Do I have to redo this? I think I already redid this. We'll find out later. I'll do that another time. So now we've got our imp. We have our thing here. We have our actor, starring stats. So we're going to add the race is going to be imp. And the class is going to be fighter. Starring stats. Oh, we got starring stats twice. That's nice. So let's remove one. Demo enemy, starring stats. We don't need this one here. We already have it. Oh, we don't. What is it? It's up here. Ah, in actor dot starring stats. No? Who has starting stats? If it's not demo enemy. Oh, it's here that it's not supposed to be. And it is supposed to be here. Okay. Okay. What's this? Why is this? Oh, is it because we're inside this? Let's see. Let's see. Add starring stats. This happens in an enumerable or enumerator. What's the error? Oh. I see. So stats settings. Okay. This is supposed to be a list of stats settings, and that gives us the opportunity to set the values at the beginning. And yeah, I guess that's fine to do that. Okay. So we're going to need a few things here. We're going to need, I don't know how many. Let's say 10 for now. What do we need to give? We need to give might. We need to give, we're just going to say it's all 13 as the stats. So stamina. We're going to give all the basic ones that are going to be used for potential computation, even though I don't think things like personality will come into play here. Speed. Wisdom. Luck and accuracy. All right, and then we need hit points max. Set that as 0 because it's going to be computed automatically, and hit points as well. We don't need to worry about magic points for this one, or experience, or level. Actually, we'll give a level. And it's going to be 1. All right, so it's level 1. All right, that should be good. And I want to make sure that I did that right, because if I remember correctly, I didn't, and that could be why there's an error here. Yeah, so if we look at starring stats, and we see a create stat here, it's going to give us back a game stat that has the points already set. So we're going to return create stat. So gain stat, create stat, stat.create stat, and owner is going to be actor, and the parent list is going to be actor.stats. And why is this an error? Because when we gain stat, we're expecting a stat. So we're not going to do gain stat. We're going to do add or transfer, receive. What is it? Actor.stats dot receive transfer of a game stat. There we go. We don't need to make it a clone of it. We can just give this one. So distinct is true. Clone is false. Secondary is true. Okay. So that should work, I think. Firefox on DuckDuckGo. Removed it and all links worked again. Oh, it's probably DuckDuckGo removing trackers, maybe. Maybe the affiliate link wasn't liking it. I don't know. So Game Modules V4 is getting close to final. Part of the reason I'm doing such an extensive demo scene is to basically dog food it, make sure I've got everything set properly. Also to help myself remember what everything does, because there is a lot. And by the way, if you do go to Infinity PBR, there's the scripting docs up here. And so all the docs were going to be updated as well for all the various things. So there's a lot of stuff here that you can check out, and this is all going to get updated as well. So I need to remember everything too, so that I can tell people what to do. There's the important thing is the things not to forget. In other words, these are the things I always forget. However, tick isn't going to be used anymore, or for most of the things, tick won't be used. I think one might still require tick, but the rest don't. They're all automated now. Oh, look at this. Ha! I never removed the V3 coming soon. So as you can tell, I do update it. V4 is unfortunately a major update that will break projects. There was no way I could figure out how to do that gracefully, unfortunately. I just would not know how to do that. So yeah. So V4 is the big one. It's going to be really nice. Nicer than it is now. But yeah, that's why I'm making such an extensive demo scene. I'm going to make one more demo project that's a completely different genre, probably a tower defense, similar to the Balloons tower defense game, in order to demonstrate that, no, it's not just fantasy RPGs, it's also other games too. And then I will be updating the scene or the docs, and then should be all good to go. And then bug fixing as they come up, because I'm sure there will still be some bugs, right? There always are. All right, so we should be good there now. We've assigned these. I'm going to save so we don't forget. I'm going to make a prefab out of this as well. That's always a good thing to do. Prefabs, character creation. We're going to create a folder called actors, and make this a prefab because we're going to have multiples of them. All right, so then, are we good? What happens when we press play? We don't have an attack audio clip. So let's quickly make one. This is going to be fun. Applications. Let me go to Replica Studios. So we're going to use Replica Studios to make the guy say attack. So let's quickly do this. We're going to do projects, party-based RPG, new scene. How do we do a new scene? New scene. Attack. All right. This is going to be more than just attack, but we're going to do a character, find a new character. Imp. Cast now. If you haven't used this yet, I have a link for you. CL assets. In the asset store, there's a voices package, which I think works just fine without the rest of the game modules. Where is it? There's so many things called voices. Maybe calling it voices wasn't a good idea. Why are there so many? Voices game module. Let's see. There we are. Oh, I called it voices game module. Funny that. Here's the link, by the way. So do this referral link, and you'll get an extra 30 minutes of free talk time, and that means, as you'll see when I'm creating, no, not this window, Replica. When I'm creating stuff, my time is up here. I've got 25 hours from all the people who have used my referral code. But you'll see it go down every time you make an actual line. It's going to take away that many seconds of talk time, essentially. All right. So we're going to find. Is there no easy way to find non-humans? We're going to quickly find one.
Oh, hi.
That's the goblin.
Hello.
Nope.
War is coming.
Whoa. Okay.
It's nice to...
Hi there.
Do you need an...
Oh.
Hello,
My name.
My photon planet.
Aha. Okay, so we're going to use that one. We're going to have him say attack. And we're going to have him say ouch. Hurt. And I'm dying. Alright. And vengeance. Sad. Sad. Then you just press play, and you'll see the time come down here by a second or so.
Attack.
This is so stupid. Every time they attack, they're going to say, attack.
Ouch, that hurt. Buffeted, I'm dying.
Alright. So that took time away, but I had to redo it because I didn't like it.
Oh no, I'm dying.
Alright, good enough. And then we're going to need another character because we want to do the same thing for the demon. And so we're going to create a new character. Cast a new character. Call it demon. Cast now. I need a good demon voice.
How dare
You have no power.
we must have...
Hi.
It's probably going to be male. Oh, look, it looks like a demon.
Cower before me.
Well, that sounds perfect. Okay. Attack. And... Ouch. And... Oh, you got me. I'm gonna be dead. Dead, I tell you. Dead because you killed me until I was dead. And then we need also, I am the demo demon. You shall not pass. Although, let's be honest, you're probably going to defeat me fairly easily. For this one, it's going to be angry. For this one, it's going to be, I don't know, does it even matter? Agitated and hatred. Okay. For this demo, I've used less than a minute. Actually, more than that. Because I've got the longer things. But it's just a few minutes. It's really not expensive.
Ouch! Oh, you got me. I'm going to be dead. Dead, I tell you, dead. Because you killed me until I was dead.
That's good death.
I am the demo demon. You shall not pass. Although, let's be honest, you're probably going to defeat me fairly easily.
This sounded like a completely different person. You know why I think it didn't work? I think they changed their whole thing. It's been a year. And I never changed the link.
You got me. I'm gonna be dead. Dead, I tell you,
Alright.
dead.
So we're going to
You
download
killed
these
me
to Waves.
until I was dead.
Downloads. Okay, let me bring those up. So we're going to call this enemy voice lines. I'm not going to use the voices module for this because that's overkill. You don't have to reinvent the wheel sometimes. And so for this one, where's our audio? Audio clips. We're going to bring this enemy voice lines here, and then attack. Oh my gosh. This is going to be his attack clip. So every time he attacks, he's going to say that. I believe we can just press play and see what happens.
Attack. Attack.
So stupid. It's so stupid.
Attack. Attack. Attack.
The bad guy just says attack every time he attacks because I don't have an actual weapon or anything for the demo. Alright, that's fine. What was the error here? Why did we get an error? Null reference. Right here. Well, save and load is not... Oh, so we need to do another. While save and load equals null, yield return null. Basically saying, hey, if, whoops, spell things right. If save and load hasn't yet been loaded, then really? Nope, that's not what we want. Oh, because I have the not. So save and load equals null, then we'll yield. Otherwise, we'll wait until it's loaded. All right.
Attack.
Why do we have bugs again? That's not right. Where is this? This is probably when it's trying to compute its stats here. 38. Receive transfer. Set points. Oh, interesting. All right, so this is actually an interesting thing here. I think this is happening. Let's find out. If the settings, where's our hit points? No, hit points max is coming in first. I thought maybe it was trying to compute hit points and then it was doing hit points max, but no. Well, let's do a thing here. We'll do a quick thing. Debug.log stat is stat settings dot stat dot name object name. Let's see what's trying to compute.
Attack.
All right.
Attack.
Stat is hit points, so that is the thing. I know what's happening. So, okay. So what's happening is we're adding hit points max first, but it's actually not available to the system until the next frame. And hit points caps at hit points max. So when it computes itself, it says, oh, make sure I'm underneath hit points max, but hit points max is not yet available. So what we need to do, find out where that happens, not here. 119. I think that's what's happening. At least let's go through this. Get other levels. Compute required stats. Wait a minute. Get other levels. Then game item attribute 77. Get modification level. Oops. Go back. Parent modification level. And this is probably calling parent. Yeah. And there's no UID. So parent will be the scriptable object parent. Interesting. So let's print out all the things it's trying to do. So yeah, it's almost certainly because the hit point max is the issue. Um, what's found other? This is supposed to say, if you didn't find it, just return the final amount. Debug.log. Found other is found other.object name. So let's see what it is that's throwing this off. If it's hit point max, it's because we found other, but
Attack.
found other hit points max. Okay. And then it's saying we can't recompute our final stat for some reason. Okay, that's at 687. Let's look at this. 693. Compute final stat. Compute final stat. Recompute tree. Compute required stats. $212. Right here. Compute required stats. Get other levels. Actor race modification level. Did we forget to add something? This is why it's trying to compute this, because it does get affected by it. How do we do this in this one? Oh, I see. I changed it. This is one of those dog fooding things where I change things and then I'm like, I see. So I wonder if I ran into this problem before. Because it's trying to compute, but it needs one more frame before it can actually do that. So what I could do... imp actor.gain stat stat, and let's see if this works. All the stats will be 0, I believe, but let's see.
Attack.
Oh, same issue.
Attack.
Wait a minute. Am I barking up the wrong tree? I might be barking up the wrong tree. I'm not sure if that's the right use case for that phrase, but I might be barking up the wrong tree. This happens at the very first is 40. Receive transfer. Oh, interesting. Wait a minute. I see. I think. So the point of this, it actually happens on Awake here. the point of this is to say, oh, hey, you might add starring stats later in your project, and so this is going to add those. If you add those later and you've already run the game a few times, the bad guys, or good guys, I get why in this case bad guys, will get those as well. And so this is running, and I think that means that this would work, but we might want to delay one more frame. Setup actor. Ah, okay. Wait, setup actor happens after we've loaded. Okay, we're going to do yield return 0. Doing this will return 1 frame, and that will give this time to load. And in fact, I believe that means yeah. Let's see. I think I've got another issue still, but oh, I didn't expect it to be exactly the same. All right, let's yeah, let's cancel this out and see what happens if we do nothing. Attack.
Attack.
Interesting. It's still happening.
Attack.
Why is it still happening? I don't understand. Why is it still happening? So it does find hit points max. 687. Finds it. The final amount. And we're trying to recompute it. Nice. Nice. Maybe they lowered it. It used to be 30 minutes for signing up and an extra 30 minutes for the referral. Maybe they've made it less. Maybe they've realized, oh, 30 minutes is a long time. It doesn't sound like a long time, but turns out it is, especially for just testing and playing around with it. All right, so this is where the issue is. It's trying to recompute everything, and we've just added it this frame, so apparently it doesn't have its UID. So how do we approach that? Well, we could try this. And this might just be, maybe this isn't a built-in thing. Maybe this is just a, hey, there's another way of doing it if you run into this problem. We could say actor.stats.receive or gain get. I thought it was gain. Add stat. So we're going to go to our properties dot stats dot main stats dot hit points max. So this is another way, by the way. Hit points max UID. So we'll get that true and false. We won't set dirty yet. So we're going to add it here. This properties is just basically a property script that has references to all those things. So if you want to call them that way, you can. The only thing is if I were to change this name from hit points max to something else, then I'd have to update this code. But generally, you're not going to change that too often. And then yield return 0. So we're going to add hit points max and wait one more frame, then do the rest. Since this is distinct, even though it's in this list, we're not going to add it twice because it's just going to skip over that. So I think this should work then.
Attack.
No. Well, WTF. What is going on? All right, we need to go deeper. Final stat. This is a repository. Get by UID. UID is null. It's supposed to be not null. Set UID happens at the creation. What if we do UID equals parent.uid? Will that make it work? Is it that's we're doing the method set UID? I don't know. Let's find out.
Attack.
No. Okay. I didn't think so, but I wanted to try. So it still requires one more frame because when we set that value here, and we can see it here, debug.log, UID is now UID, or we can say UID. We can see it now. It will be extra interesting if it prints out perfectly fine here, and then we still get the error. But let's find out.
Attack.
Where's the error now? Interesting. I don't see it printed out at all. Okay. Oh, it might crash. I forgot. Unity has been crashing for me when I update the scripts at runtime. It crashes often, and it just did it again. Oops, it did it again. And now I'm singing for you and your friends. See, you didn't know you were going to get a singing show, but you did. You did get a singing show. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe because you got a singing show. All right. It's vexing me that this works in the other setup, but not in this one. And that vexes me. All right, see, it has a UID. So what is it happening here? All right, we're gonna do more debug logs. All right, final stat, compute final stat. Compute required owner.get other levels. Is that it? Or are we missing get other levels? Let's find out. Demo actor 212. Get other levels. 212. Actor race modification level. Get modification level. Parent modification level. Oh, I see. It's the race that isn't populated. I see. So get modification level. We need to add a check here. We need to say if actor race dot modification level actor race equals null, does not equal null, then add that. After class does not equal null, then add that. Because technically they might not be assigned. You might have a demo actor that just has no race or class. Like we don't need to make this a fighter. It can just be an imp. Ooh, still the error. So that's unexpected. Darn. Actor race still. Okay, let's do a debug log here. Debug.log. Actor race is actor race dot object name, and UID is actor race dot UID. Ah, gigapixel. All right, actor race is empty. That is Topaz Gigapixel AI. That's what I use to upscale the AI images I make to make them better. That's what. Why is actor race not active at this point? Imp set actor race. Hmm. So we're going to try this for a second. It doesn't solve the actual problem. Hey, I thought it didn't come out until the 10th. Is it out today? This is crazy. It shouldn't be doing this. Oh, it's doing it for the class now. So, okay, so basically what's happening is both of these aren't set. So I'm not going to do this check because it shouldn't be like this. I'm essentially... we'll leave that there for now. But so we just have an order of operations issue here, where we're setting this, but we are doing the load. Actually, yeah, I guess I can do that because, like I said earlier, there's a chance, and it's a reasonable chance, that a person won't have an actor race. Whoops, wrong button. So we're going to do that, yeah. So if not string.is null or white space that, then we will do that. Same deal here, but for actor class. So it is possible for some character to not have a race or class. So that's a good check to have. So that does get rid of the error. But our good old-fashioned... Is he not saying attack? Why isn't he saying attack? Our good old-fashioned imp here. Now, if we look at his stats, actor stats, we have the stats. And let's see if we have it on our blackboard. We have to... I don't know which one of these it is. Probably be the one at the end. I don't know. I don't know which one it is. It's probably this one with 10. So the final is 1. Yeah. All right. So that solved that problem. Now we need to finish the actual setup and make sure this is working right. So we're going to do a debug.log imp hit points. And we'll do a quick check. Race is actor race dot object name. All right. Just check to see we're doing this in the right order. Oh, 72 hours early if you buy from Epic. I don't use Epic, I use Steam, so I guess I'll wait. Is it good? It looks good. I don't really know what you do in it, but it looks cool. I'm a fan of pretty things. Doesn't get called at all. Maybe this is never getting called. Debug.log error. Do actor setup. it's still good to have that check on the get other modification levels. But look, that was the real issue. This isn't being called. Do actor setup is not being called. Well, why not? Demo enemy. Do actor setup. Oh. This is why. That's why. Hello, Jason Storey. It's still not being called. Why is it still not being called? Because this is not returning null, I bet. Debug.log setup actor is actor class null. And we will then say actor.actor class equals null. I read Harry Potter 1 when I was teaching high school. I was teaching choir, 2 choir classes, no, band and choir, when I had no teaching credential, very little experience, basically no experience, was way too young and cute. People thought I was in high school still, even though I was graduated from college, and I just happened to have an emergency credential for teaching music, which was just, they shouldn't have given it to me, but for the purpose, it was just, they needed me to do something that wasn't really related to music. But either way, I was teaching that, and during silent reading every day, I read Harry Potter because there was a copy just sitting there. So I just picked it up every day and read a little bit more, and I finished the book that way. Apparently, this doesn't seem to be getting called. Oh. And I don't know why it's not getting called. I'm going to make it an error just so I can see it more easily. Jason, have you gone... I think I know the answer. Have you gone to Universal Studios in Florida and gone to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter? Me neither. I haven't done that either. So, yeah, this isn't being called. Let's find out why. It should happen imp load state, start coroutine, setup actor, debug.log error, imp load state, setup actor should do this thing. Which is very strange. Alright, why isn't my imp loading state? Is it savable? Has savable? I know why, because it has not saved anything yet. That's why. This data file has no save ID of that, so it doesn't even call the save and load. Duh. Well, that's just my fault. That's just me being illogical. Setup actor on load state makes sense, except that it will never actually be called on load state. So we really need to do this on oh, fuck me. On awake, where we were doing this, where I was already doing the stuff. Oh my god. The Matrix chair. Oh. I went to the lot many times. Did you get to put the Harry Potter hat on your head and have it say Slytherin? That's where when I was in high school, we would go in the theater class. We would go on our theater trip every year down to the Chapman University Shakespeare Festival, and we would always lose, but our teacher was not that great. But we would go there and we'd go to Disneyland and we'd go to the Warner Brothers studio lot. And that was always my favorite bit because I wanted to be an actor. And that's where we saw Arnold Schwarzenegger when they were filming the movie Eraser, I believe. And Oliver, you're close enough. You should go. I'm sure it's still very exciting. And Arnold Schwarzenegger came out of his trailer while the director was telling us how they were setting up some stunt shot. And he was very nice. And he talked to us for like 20 minutes. And Arnold Schwarzenegger came out of our trailer, saw us, and walked straight back into his trailer. Because that's what you do. But yeah, the Warner Brothers studio tour was always fun because it's a real studio and you get to walk through the costume shop and all this other stuff. It's really fun. So we did that a whole bunch. So when I was teaching theater at the same school, I took my kids there, and that was fun. Although they saw more famous people at the Grove in LA than they did there. They met John Lithgow, and he talked to them for a long time because he's a nice guy, it turns out. Some of them met him at least. But yeah, the Warner Brothers Studio Tour. That's pretty cool, Jason. See, we've got something in common. I think most people have not done that. Most people probably don't even know that's a thing. Ooh, Quantum Leap. Is Scott, what's his name, in it? Oh, you did. I see. Sorry, I misread this chats. I read your I didn't as had you gone. I see. I missed some of the chats. Yeah, good time. Good time. I like the Taco Bell across the street from one of the entrances because they got all these old headshots from people. And one time I ate Taco Bell there, and the guys from that stupid Office show, I think only one of them still acts or is seen, Workaholics, they were eating Taco Bell. They could have had food at the Warner Brothers lot, but they chose to go to Taco Bell for some reason. I don't know. But that Taco Bell was always tasty. Some Taco Bells suck. That one was okay. All right, so yeah, so I was going down the wrong tree here. So this should not happen on load state. Why is it still happening here? Imp load state. So we're not doing that there. All right, so on awake, doing starting stats. Well, we're going to rename this to be starting actions. All right, so the actor, set owner, we need to do that every single time. So we're going to keep that there. And then this is the starting stats thing. And so what we're really going to do here on demo enemy is do the setup actor. So setup actor and zombie code that for a second. And on setup actor, we are going to try that. So let's just see if it spits out null for us, if we get the details we're looking for. Catch you later. This is taking its sweet time. All right, press play. Did we get what we were looking for? Doesn't look like it. Does not look like it. Why not? Oh. Start coroutine. Setup. Actor. All right. I can tell that my lack of sleep has been messing me up. It's not null. What is it then? Let's find out. It is actor.actorClass.object name. I think it is null, really. Or something. That was my theory, at least. Yeah, see? So it's not null, it's just empty. So this goes back to the other check, and I guess in this context, we need to say if string dot is null or empty. We do white space. Actual class to object name. Then yield break. So actually, if it's not empty, then yield break. Do actor setup, but do actor setup on the imp is going to do that, and we're going to make adding at starting stats a separate thing. And we need to do the same thing here. Protected virtual void add starting stats. Something you'd override. And that means here we're going to make this a protected override void. Okay, so that I believe will work. We might need one frame pause here, but we're going to find out. I want to see if we get that error first. Hey, Jason, if you read building a second brain twice, do you get a third brain? Null reference. I wasn't expecting a null reference. Oh, because we don't do magic for the imp. Hit points, race is imp. All right, so that seems to be working as expected. We're going to now do one more debug.log. Hit points is actor stats.get properties stats.main.hitpoints.points and we're going to remove this debug. Now I'll put a comment here. If the class has been populated, then do not do the rest. Hit points is 14. Perfect. That's what it should be because we added to 10 and 4 for the racing class subject each, so 14 is the exact number. All right, so that took a little bit too long to do. And it was annoying. I apologize, but I hope you enjoyed me working through the problem, and I hope I entertained you for a minute. So the issue there was, first I was doing it in the wrong section. I had already created a section. I tend to do this where I do something helpful for myself, and then later I come back and do it again because I forgot that I did it the first time, because I only have a little bit of a brain. Andrew Huberman has been showing up in my YouTube recommendations a lot recently. My favorite neuroscientist personality is David Eagleman. I think it's David Eagleman. I like that guy. He's got good books and good videos when he does videos and stuff. So sub actor, but we do want to add the starring stats if we have already done it, because this is going to add stats if you've added stats later and you want it to ensure that it has it. This would do that. Then add stats in case any are new, and that's it. Okay. Otherwise, we'll do the setup and then do the add starring stats. If we do the add starring stats, and if you've overridden it on your enemy, in this case, we're going to receive transfer, but distinct is going to be new. So if it already has one, then it's not going to get a new one. And that's just going to be skipped. And then this part, oh, interesting. We don't want this to happen. So we need to do another one here. A protected override void. Actually, this will be a common enough thing. We'll do starting stats and then set hit points and magic points. Actually, yeah, we will make this a set starting point values is what we'll call it, because that's vague enough. It's going to be protected over a virtual void set starting point values and something you'd override, and then in our imp, protected override void set starting values and what do I call it? Sorry, point values. And that's where we're going to do this. So in this case, it's only going to have hit points. In the case of something else, it might have hit points and magic points. In the case of something else, it might have some other stat. I don't even know. Who knows what the future will hold for bad guys. All right, so that should set that as well. So now we've got those all separated out. So each one does one thing, which is always a nice thing. But why isn't he saying attack anymore? Oh, because somehow this got removed. Oh, probably when it crashed, huh?
Attack.
All right. And look, the prefab got lost too, because remember I made a prefab. Oh, look at that. Mother F. All right. Save. All right, let's hear our guy attack us.
Attack. Attack. Attack.
Oh my gosh.
Attack. Attack. Attack.
Yep.
Attack.
Every time he attacks, he's going to say attack. So there's more to do to get this guy set up, because we also have to make sure he can move around. Or maybe he can't. Maybe we're just going to wait until he gets close. Because I don't want to go too crazy with the demo scene and make it like a full-fledged game, because that's just a lot of superfluous stuff that isn't necessarily required. So I think these are just going to block your path and attack you. They're not going to come at you or anything like that. They're just going to stand there, and you're not going to be able to get around them. If I try to get around him, then he's just going to continue to attack me.
Attack.
Oh, I can get around him.
Attack.
All right. So let's look at him real quick. Imp. And so instead of this capsule collider, we're going to add a box collider. Turn the capsule collider off for now. And the box collider, we'll make this bigger. Whoops. Make it a little bit longer, a little bit wider, a little bit taller, a little bit more of a baller. All right, and we're also going to move him back because he's very close to the entrance. And this is why we need to change it to a cutout. Should I do that now? Should I just show you how I do it? Because it's very easy. It just takes a minute. All right, I'll do that. Let's copy this. We'll bring it out here. We will then bring it out here, and we will lay it flat on the ground. And we'll go up here and do orthographic. And then, whoops. Okay. And then we will go to our new poly shape. And we will just very gingerly and carefully create a very rough shape of this. It doesn't have to be perfect. And there's a lot of pointy bits here. I think I've met the guy who made ProBuilder, the two guys. I think one of them still works at Unity. I should tell that guy if I can find him. I think he's on Discord and Twitter and the forums. They should make a create from sprite option here, because it would be cool if it would just create a polygon object in the shape of a sprite. We're not going to do too crazy with that hair. Why I didn't do this earlier, because while the effect is cool, I don't like this kind of tedious stuff. I don't know if anyone does, but I don't like it. It hurts my neck too, because I always like lift my head up while trying to concentrate. If I was Michael Jordan, my tongue would be out right now. I don't know if you all know that reference to good old Michael Jordan, not the actor, the baseball player. Oof, getting bored. Do you know why I'm getting bored? Because this is boring. So let me tell you a story. I have a story to tell. Sometimes I have stories just ready to tell, but today, I guess I didn't have one, because I said, let me tell you a story, and nothing came out of my mouth. Nothing even popped into my head. I've been trying this prompt on MidJourney. The thumbnail for the stream tonight is from that prompt, but I cannot for the life of me get it to be consistent. I'm trying to get a specific look that I can repeat, right? Because that's the whole point. If I'm going to make a big package of icons, they have to be consistent. But for the life of me, it keeps giving me two distinct but quality looks, and I like them both. I would totally make packs out of both of them because I really like them both. But the problem is I can't force it to give me one or the other. The prompt I'm using gives me both, and it's random. Sometimes it gives me one, sometimes it gives me the other, sometimes it gives me a mixture of the two, And so I'm not sure if I should just make a whole bunch, then separate them out later, which is probably a fine way of doing it. But I really like the idea. I try very hard to get consistent, repeatable prompts when I do my AI art generation. At least for the asset store type stuff. All right, so we have that. And then we put this at 0.1. And we don't need to flip normals. Although that would be interesting too, if it was internal. But no, we don't do that. And then quit editing. And now we have that. And now we go to our images, NPCs. We have one for NPC one, no, person one. And we're going to change this to imp. And we will put in our imp stuff. We're going to use the mask map for both the diffuse and metallic roughness. Normal map. Fix now. And then we'll throw this on here. And as you can see, we'll delete this one now. This is clearly not right. So we need to adjust the material. Whoops. Wait a minute. What's going on? Why is this? God darn it. Now I have to do the UV editor. All right, is this easy? Is there a nice rotate button? Rotate tool. Let's see. It's been a long time since I've used the UV editor. Clicking things. Rotate. Huh. Why can't I select? Ah. Rotate. All right. Oh. Nope. Come on. Nope. Why wasn't it? Why won't it let me do that? Why is it snapping back? That's very frustrating. It's because I literally should have been rotated when I cut it out. That's a good point, Tech Dave. Unity can do one mesh collider from a mesh. It's just the opposite way, or from a sprite either. Why is it snapping back? Nope. 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 Oh. That worked. Okay. Select island. Oh, this might actually fix our other two. Flip horizontal. Ah, that's good. All right. All right. Scale tool. Let's select them both. All right, now we're getting somewhere. All right, let's see. Move it up just a bit. Over just a bit. It looks like it is too tall and not quite wide enough. So we'll make it a little bit wider, a little bit shorter. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just has to be nearly perfect. Still looks like it is too wide now, and now it's not tall enough. Alright, so this is... And part of it is that my cutout was probably bad. Now it's too tall again, I think. Go very carefully here. Alright. That's probably good enough. Save. Is there a save button? Okay, it's auto-saved. That's good. Alright, so now we've got our bad guy here. Go back to perspective mode. We'll now move him under here. Make the position be the same as this. Copy component. Paste component values. Oh, now we need to definitely fix it. This is actually a good use for orthographic. By looking at this here, we can more clearly see that it doesn't align. Whoops, wrong button. And then we can just kind of make it like this align. And that should be good. Then we turn off the sprite. Now you can't even see him. And then let's save our prefab while we're thinking of it. Now save our game, and now you can't see him. So now he's saying attack still.
Attack.
But you won't see him until you get close. Ah, and then there he is.
Attack. Attack. Attack.
So what we can do, though, just to make it more fun, because everybody likes fun. I mean, unless you're a loser. Then we're going to add 2 eyeballs. Create a light, point light. We'll make the range 1 for now. Bring this up, bring it forward. Make our... Where's our gizmos? There we go. Bring this over here. Right next to the eye here. Make it really small, 0.1. Make it a bit like this. I mean, actually, if we're just doing that color, then we probably don't even need to do any color on it. Intensity 2. Duplicate it. Now, is it scarier because you can see the lights?
Attack.
That's scarier now,
Attack.
right?
Attack. Attack.
It looks like something from
Attack.
like a roller coaster ride that you have to shoot with your laser gun
Attack.
because it's flat
Attack.
but has some depth and shadow.
Attack.
All right. So that's cool, but it's too far away. So he's not going to attack unless the player is in range. So how do we do that? We have our on trigger enter stuff. That's what we'll do. So public void on trigger enter if other dot game object dot name equals player. That's how we're doing it here. Then return. So if it's not that, then return. And then we'll say player in range equals true. Whoops. And so we need to add this. And we'll do public override or void on trigger exit. And the same thing, but false. And then on the attack, we will say if not player in range, then yield return null. So if the player is not in range, no attacks happen. And the range is going to be our collider. And we need our trigger for that. So we're going to copy this component and paste it as new and make it a trigger. So now we have a trigger that's the same size as the collider, which means, though, that the player may never enter it because it's the same size. So to fix that, get our things back on, we will make the box collider a little bit bigger. Make it 5 by 5. Maybe make this 3 by 3. Let's see if that feels right.
Attack.
Nope.
Attack.
Why are you attacking? Player's not in range.
Attack.
It's saying player's in range, huh? I don't know why. I never know why.
Attack. Attack.
Well, you shouldn't be saying attack.
Attack.
Let's see if we get our player in range notice at least.
Attack. 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 Attack.
All right.
Attack.
So that seems to be working. Then why is... Oh, I know why. I think I know why. I know. It's true. I just want to attack, man. Just let me attack. That's what I was born to do. I think this just needs to be here. So one of the things, the epiphanies I had, was this is top down. Wait, but that still shouldn't. It should just keep yielding until the player's in range.
Attack. Attack. Attack.
Ah, duh. While. I said if I needed to be while. That's why. The other thing we can do while we're here is update this. This is way too far. And this needs to be go down to 0. All right.
Attack.
There we go.
Attack.
Need to move their position.
Attack. Attack.
Okay, good. All right, now let's get them to actually attack the player. I'll do the player attack another time, but I want to get him attacking the player. So we're going to create a nice fancy dancy little attack algorithm. And to do that, we need attack and damage. So let's quickly do a rundown of what our items have on them. Item objects, weapons, different things here, stats. They don't have attack and damage. I don't think I've made attack and damage stats, so let's do that. Oh, I do. Attack and damage. Nice. So damage is going to be minimum of 0. Yeah. 0. I don't think we need to set those. I guess the final stat will do a minimum of 0. And we'll do the same for this. 0. All right. So everybody should have attack and damage, and that means the bad guy too. So Imp is going to get attack and damage in their starting stats. So we'll add 2 more. Ooh, 2 more. Attack and damage. But these are going to be computed a different way. Actually, for the Imp it's not. For the players, it's going to be based on their weapons, but the Imp's just going to have a basic 2 attack and up to 3 damage for each one. So they'll do between 2 and 6 damage every time they attack. Yeah. And I will save the prefab. So I believe what we need is a, Jason Storey, if you're still listening, you can correct me because I might say the wrong thing here. We need a static method. Or is it, it's not constant, it's a static method, I believe. That is the compute damage, and we pass it an actor, I suppose, and then it just gets us that damage. Or actually, let's see. Yeah, because the algorithm is going to be your choice. I'm not going to build that algorithm for you. I'll give you a demo of the algorithm, but so I need a static method. And so let's see. I've done this before. I've got one eyeball closed because I'm concentrating, like, if you could see me, but you can't. Is it Infinity Editor? Abstract class? No. It is Editor Utilities, Editor. Yes, static class. So what we're going to do in our scripts, let's try if I can do this right. Create C# script. Call this party based RPG statics, I guess, is that a proper way of doing it? Maybe. Maybe not. And this is going to be namespace infinity.modules.demo. And it is a static class. And our method is public int compute damage between actor it's going to be an actor or demo actor. It's a demo actor. Or is it an actor? Demo actor. Yeah, demo actor. Demo actor attacker, demo actor defender, and static int. And so we're gonna get the compute the attack total, compute defense total, and then return total. All right, so we can also then compute our attack here and max attack, min attack. So public static int compute max attack and demo actor attacker, and public static int compute min attack demo actor attacker. And really it's not going to be compute, it's just going to be max attack and min attack. And so max attack is going to say attacker.stats. Actually, let us make our lives easier and make properties here. And we're going to keep this on the demo actor because your project might not have attack and attack and damage. So this is for the demo. So we're not going to put higher level at the thing that you're going to inherit from, hopefully. So we'll put this here. Public attack is going to be our public float attack is going to be stats dot get properties dot stats dot main stats dot attack. No, it's a different kind of stat. What kind of stat is it? Hidden stats dot attack. Nope. It is a stats type dot attack. There it is. Attack attack UID. Add if null true. Distinct is true. Dot final stat. Okay, so that's attack, and damage is going to be similar. Damage.uid final stat. So now in here we can just get attacker attack and this is actually going to be max damage. So the maximum attack times the attacker dot damage is our maximum damage. So it's like a, oh, it's going to be float. So it's going to be like a rolling 2 dice. If it's 2 attacks, then 2 dice of damage. So 2d3 in this case. And the minimum is going to be our attacker dot attack times 1, basically. Because the minimum you can do is 1. So attack total is going to be attack value equals random.range between attacker.attack. No, what am I doing? Min attack attacker and max attack, max damage attacker. Ugh. Attacker. Jesus. Min damage. Min damage. Max damage. Alright. So our attack range is between those two things. Attack! Attack! Thanks, Tech Dave. Good hanging out. Good luck. One day I want to see what you're making, by the way. So that's our attack value. We're going to make a very simple algorithm. I'm going to put a note here too. This is a fairly simple attack damage algorithm. Your game may be doing this differently. So then we can get more complex with this too, with a luck value. Hey JT Lewis, I am. Well, it's 8 o'clock. I drank that coffee. There's actually a little bit left in the thermos, but I'm not gonna drink anymore. But yeah, it's I've been tired. But this is actually good stuff. I need to switch my own game to using the static class for this. So this is a good exercise for me either way. So we're going to get a little bit more complicated with this in a bit because we have a luck value, and I want the luck value to, if the player is lucky, if randomly lucky, then they're going to have a better thing there. So we are going to say then the defense total is going to be... What's the defense total? Oh, and actually there's more here. Let me think. Do I want to get complicated with it? Because we have stats like might, which, you know, should have an impact with your attack, I would think. So probably. So we're going to say it's going to be that plus stats repository dot... Do I have access to stats repository here? I don't think I do. Lookup tables. Let's see, actually. Properties dot lookup. No. My name is, what do I call it? What do I call my lookup table? Stat bonus. It's pretty obvious. Stat bonus. I need to add these to the properties. So I don't think I have access to this here because, or maybe I do. Let's see. Stat bonus of attacker dot might. So we're doing a few things: public, static, float, attack or stat bonus of, and float value, set bonus dot result from value. Okay, so this will give us a lookup table value for this thing, and we're going to go back to the future. We're going to do the same thing here. Say might. We could put these into private variables as well, so that we only have to set this once. So maybe we'll do that now just for best practices. So private float or private game stat might is equal to might okay, yeah. So and then public game stat might is going to be might. If it's not populated, then populate it to be this, and then call that might stat. And then might is going to be might stat final stat. That way this lookup thing only happens once per game, per play. And we'll do the same thing here, damage stat and attack stat. Damage, whoops, damage and attack, and attack, damage, attack. It's going to be might UID. Might not thing. Oh, it's a different type of stat. Main stats dot might. And then this will be attack stat, and this will be damage stat. So that's a little bit more efficient. Oh, you're in those. Good. How is that going? Oh, wow. That's great. Did you tell Jason Wyman that? I don't know if he checks up on those. I assume he probably checks up on those, but I have no idea how many are still operating. Because I'm sure some have dropped off, but that's really great that they're still going on, or yours is still going on, and you're doing a group project together. That's even better. That's amazing. I'm sure if Jason doesn't know that, then he's going to be thrilled to hear that. I bet. All right, so we got might here. Honestly, we can do this with a few other things that we know we're going to need. We're going to need accuracy, speed, luck, armor class, speed, luck, armor class. I think we're using armor class, accuracy stat, speed stat, luck stat, armor class stat. So how many is that? 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Accuracy, speed, typed correctly, maybe, luck, armor class, and armor class. I might not have a stat for armor class yet. Luck UID, speed UID, accuracy UID. So you know what? I don't think I actually have armor class. I should have it though, because that's going to come into play when you equip the armor. Let me see. Stats. I do. It's just on the main stats type. Okay. 26th mean. Wow. Wow, that's really cool. Yes, points is a tracker. So I use points for experience, gold, hit points, For things that you're just tracking the points, it goes up, value goes down. That's what points are great for. Points are also helpful for like if you have a skill and you can assign skill points to the things, you can add points, but then other things can still affect them. So an item can affect the proficiency or final value or something of that thing. It's not a tracker. It's an actual stat that goes up and down with, all of sorts of modifications. The final stat is ultimately just, it's a heavy method itself because it computes all the potential. Well, it doesn't have to actually. It can if you call the recompute, like if you call recompute and then recompute tree, then yes, it's going to do all of those. Otherwise, it's just going to return the final stat that's already been recomputed because it's going to do the recomputation automatically now. So you shouldn't really have to do that. Yeah. So, so really, while it's heavy, you shouldn't have to look at it if you don't want to. That's the idea, at least. All right, so priority based stack. So that's our stat bonus of that. So and we're gonna have the stat bonus here too, because that's the minimum. And then compute. So far, defense value equals random dot range. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make a little bit of a fancy algorithm here. So, the defense equals armor class stat bonus plus attacker accuracy bonus minus defender speed bonus. So that means if their accuracy is super high, then your armor class is going down. If your speed is really high, higher than their accuracy, then your armor class is going up. If they're on par, then your armor class is going to be what it's going to be. And so if your armor class is on par with their might, then their weapon attack is the only attack. So it might work out. You'd have to do the math for the game, but we'll figure it out. So var defense value equals compute. So stat bonus of defender stats dot defender dot armor class plus stat bonus of attacker dot accuracy minus stat bonus of defender dot speed. So that's your defense value. If your speed is greater than theirs, so if their accuracy value is 5, yours is 10, then it will be, so it has to be the other way around. Speed minus accuracy. Ooh, that was a close one, I think. So if yours is 10, theirs is 5, let's say your armor class is 5. So you'd get 5 plus 5. So it would be a total of 10. If your speed was 5, theirs was 10, then your armor class would be 5 plus 5 minus 10 equals -5. So your total would be 0. Defense value is going to be a minimum of 0. So mathf dot maximum of that 0, and 0. Okay. All right. And then the return the total is going to be return attack value minus defense value. And it's going to return a float, not int. All right. So this could all be one thing, but we'll separate it out to keep it easier to read. All right. So let's use this. Imp. Do attack. Attack. All right, so we're going to choose a random player. Play attack click, start coroutine, attack. So restart and then perform attack. And that's going to be private void perform attack. There's no chance that they're going to miss in this game demo. Feature creep. What's that? That's why they always say do the design doc and make the design doc, do that first, and then stick to it. I think that's what they said. They being the cool people. So this, we're going to say get random players. So we're going to say game data dot random player. I already built in a property for that. Dot receive. Actually, let's do the damage first. So our player equals player. So then var damage equals compute. What do we call it? Compute damage. But we probably have to set this so party based statics dot compute damage between attacker is this. No, the attacker is actor and defender is player. If damage is greater than 0, or if damage is less than or equal to 0, then return. Otherwise, player.receive damage. Take damage. How does the particle do that? Magic ball. Player got hit. Oh, got hit. So in this one, the player gets damaged through the condition. So we will need a method for this. So player object got hit. Wait, which player object? Oh, that's the main object. Right? Player got hit, target. All right. Okay. So this shake the player portrait and shake the screen. And then we need the player to actually take some damage. So player take damage. And we'll make this a method, and all it does is hit points dot add point, or add. What is hit points? Nope, it's not that. Hit point stat. That's what we're looking for. Hit point stat dot add points damage. That's all it's doing. One line of code to add the points to take the damage. And let's see if that works. Oh, I clicked it twice. Oh, no, I didn't. Good. Something scary's up there.
Attack. Attack. Attack.
There's no... Why isn't there damage being taken?
Attack. 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 Attack.
Oh, God. Okay. I think that's always going to make me laugh. There's no points being taken, though, so let's figure out why. Debug.log take damage. I might have my math really screwed up on the algorithm. That's probably what's going on here.
Attack.
I don't know.
Attack.
Oh, I know why. Because we need to multiply it by take damage. That much damage is going to be negative damage. Because damage goes both ways and we're removing damage. So take damage is going to be multiplying it by -1. Oops.
Attack.
There we go.
Attack.
Ooh, it's pretty strong.
Attack. Attack. Attack.
Oh, she's dead.
Attack. Attack.
Oh, my random player allows them to hit dead actors. Let's see. Yeah. So we're gonna do random available random player alive, and this is gonna get players get random living player. How are we gonna do this one? Let's see. This is going to be private demo actor get random living player. We're not doing that. Instead, we're going to do var living players equals players dot where x dot I have a property for this is dead, not is dead. And then random to list. All right, then we get a random one of those and return that. Isn't there a random of something? Or maybe that was one of Jason Storey's fancy tricks that he always does. Like take random, I think it was. Extending lists, if I'm not mistaken. It was an extension of lists, an extending method extension, something like that, where you can do add to functions around lists, like take random, where you just get a random one from the list. And so instead of doing this random.range, you just say where players to list take random type of thing. What was that term? Was it method extensions or something like that? Extension methods? Was it extension methods? Maybe it was that. extension. Yes, it was, because look, I have it right here. See, I can be taught. It takes a while, but I can be taught. We're going to try that. So public static list t. No. Was that, how do we do that? How do we do an extension method for a list? Maybe it's this. No. Let's ask our friend, ChatGPT. Okay, I'm a human. You verify you're not human. All right, we need to get, how can I make an extension method for a list called take random? Oh. Does it even, it probably remembers I'm using Unity. It does. Wow. Oh my God. Ah, see, it's not replacing me. It's just making me better. Okay, so let's rewrite this so that we get the muscle memory. So public static t take random t this list t list. Yes, right. So this string that you get the thing. Okay. That's the, this part, this list, this string, this int is the extension. So it's saying you're extending an int. And so this int that comes right before is, etc., is what you're extending. That's how I think about it, at least. We'll add this in. If list.count equals 0, throw new invalid operation exception. The list is empty. Random dot what's this? Random equals new random. Index equals random dot next. I don't know what that's doing there. So we're going to say return list random dot range Unity engine dot random dot range 0 list count. There you go. And we don't have to do that check there, I don't think. So we can just do that. All right. Oop. And then we go back to our take damage. Oh, imp, that's where we were at. So instead of doing this, we could say yes. Take random. So instead of all of this, random player alive is going to be that. Yeah, innumerable. So I think you've hit on something that's better. If I'm not mistaken, this can be innumerable. Can it not be innumerable? Oh, interesting. I see what you're doing here. You're doing a random int of that range. I see. So that would kind of be like public static int take random index this list t I guess maybe this still here list Unity engine dot random. I'll just do this Unity engine random dot range 0 list dot count, and then you can get a random index of that. All right, let's see if it worked. I'll have to code something that happens if the whole party dies.
Attack. Attack.
Let's wait for one
Attack.
of them to die.
Attack. 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 Attack.
All right.
Attack.
Make sure she doesn't get killed.
Attack.
Okay, 2 are dead.
Attack.
Ah, somebody got killed still.
Attack. Attack.
Oh, did I not change the
Attack.
code? I may not have changed the code. Did I change the code? Ah, I didn't. Random player alive.
Attack. 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 Attack.
All right, come on. Let's see what
Attack.
happens. I expect an error or
Attack.
something once they're all
Attack.
dead.
Attack. Attack. Attack.
Seems to be working.
Attack. Attack.
She's our half orc
Attack.
knight.
Attack.
She has the most hit points.
Attack.
You can see her hit points right here
Attack.
as they're going down.
Attack. Attack. Attack.
Apparently I don't round it.
Attack.
And she is
Attack.
dead. And now,
Attack.
yeah, errors. Okay, good. Well, that's fine. I figured there'd be an error. So that's cool. I think I'm going to call it here because it's been 3 hours, 40 minutes. I actually kind of like the look of this guy in the dungeon. I think it looks kind of cool. And I wonder, well, what if I made the entire thing out of this kind of paper-like cutouts instead of this? I might end up doing that because I think that's kind of neat. What if the walls were all kind of paper cutouts and the ceilings were all kind of paper cutouts, and I made like these pushouts be, 3D paper cutouts? But thanks, Sleepless Dev. You gotta sleep. Ha! That's funny. I get it. I'm glad you came on. Yeah, we'll see you. I think the Game Dev Show might be on Sunday this week, but he is kind of cute, isn't he? So there you go. I'm gonna call it a stream there. I want to thank you all for hanging out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a wonderful night. Thanks, everybody.